Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this poster presentation session. My name is Joseph, and Khayyam is my partner for this assignment. Khayyam and I are both postgraduate diploma of education students from Madak University. This poster presentation is a part of our assignment for our unit, which is EDU 2861, Humanities and Social Science. Our assignment is basically to choose any one curriculum resource for primary school for teaching humanities and social science. Khayyam and I have chosen a website which basically has many stories from the past of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their interaction with other cultures. In regards to our chosen resource, we feel that it fits nicely with the Year 4 history curriculum. In particular, the following strands: the diversity and longevity of Australia's first peoples and the ways they are connected to country, place, and their pre-contact ways of life. The nature of contact between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and others, and the impact these interactions and colonization had on the environment and people's life, like dispossession, dislocation, the loss of life through conflict, diseases, loss of food sources, and medicines. The website resource that we have chosen comprises of many stories. Like you can see, these are the different stories what we have here. Seeing the land from an Aboriginal canoe. This is about black post white, about stolen generation, also about Chinese migrants. So we have different stories. Some of the stories we put in on this poster, but there are many more stories which students and teachers can access. The website resource not only provides an opportunity to both students and teachers to expand their knowledge about various cultures from the past and present, but it also enhances the interest and enjoyment of history through a range of short videos and interviews. There are many, in this website there are many short videos and interviews of people like elders from Aboriginal community, which is also very informative. Some of these stories succeed in making connections between past and present events and circumstances and modern day parallels to make learning more meaningful for students and to help students make sense of key ideas. Now I would like to invite Khayyam, who will give insight to some of the stories. Khayyam.
Thank you, Joseph, for the introduction. So, as my colleague said, there's many stories on this website, and a couple of them are very interesting, like this one it's called Seeing the Land from an Aboriginal Canoe. So basically what this project is about is, if you put your mind back, 100-200 years ago in the colonial times, they didn't have roads, they didn't have bridges and things, so the only way that goods and people could be transported was along the river. So what happened was when the white people first came, they kicked the Aboriginal people out from the good land near the river, and they stayed near the river. Now the problem was the white people, they didn't know how to swim, they didn't know how to transport their goods and stuff through the rivers. So what happened after the initial conflict, they needed the help of the Aboriginal people to help them move their goods and their stock and their animals and everything through the rivers. A lot of people don't know that there was conflict, but there was also a lot of cooperation between the whites and the Aboriginals. So with this story in particular, they show videos, there's pictures, there's text, and there's interviews with Aboriginal elders about some of the things that took place during that time. And we find it's very engaging for primary school students because they can watch the videos, they can look at the pictures, and it keeps them engaged. And it also it helps them because it's all on the computer. They're also helped in different curriculum areas. So there's a lot of cross-curricular links in this activity. Another interesting thing is the story about the Australian Chinese bed. Now what happened here, this is basically the Chinese people in southern China used to make their beds like this because it's very humid in south of China, and this was in the late 18th century. So one of the Chinese migrants, they brought their bed over here. The interesting part of this bed is put together without any glue or nails. It's sort of like a puzzle, like a wooden puzzle, and they construct it like that without anything holding it together. So in the website, they give instructions to the children how they can make their own miniature version of the similar bed like this. This one in particular was used for 40 years, then it was donated to the museum. So we find it very interesting, another activity for the children to do. So basically the reason why we chose the website as our resource is because we believe that it engages the children. It's something they're interested in. A lot of children like to use the computer. They don't like just for the teacher to stand up and keep talking, and a lot of them will become disengaged. So it keeps them very hands-on. There's puzzles to do, there's videos to watch. So there's, like I said, there's cross-curricular linkage. The best way we feel to teach this is probably a critical democratic approach by the teacher. So basically, in conclusion, we believe that we've chosen this resource because it's engaging and participatory. And basically our target, as Joe mentioned, was Year 4 students. And we believe that this will encourage students to engage in stories of the past, particularly in the context of themselves and family. And this includes stories from different cultures and other parts of the world. So students learn about the diversity and the challenges it represents in today's multicultural Australia. Thank you.
So I'd like to add one more thing. Like we can use this website for educating students in many other ways. Like we can have debates based on the poster on this particular topic. Also, we can ask students to make journals on their research. Both teachers and students can do research together, like co-researchers. Also, we can invite Aboriginal elders from community, and they can come and give a talk about some of these stories which they are aware of. So there are many, in many other ways we can educate students. Yeah, thank you very much, and we would like to take any questions.
Yes, what do you mean by cross-curricular links you mentioned?
Yeah, I mentioned cross-curricular links. What that means is basically this is a HSS unit, social sciences unit, and basically when they're engaging in this activity, they're also learning about IT, so they're learning about other different unit areas, they're learning about English, they're learning about how to use their IT, so it links into the different areas of the curriculum. It's not just limited to the HSS subject area, so that's what we call cross-curricular links.
I see. I just want to ask, why do you think Aboriginal stories are so important for our curriculum when we have a multicultural society?
See, in Australia there are many non-Indigenous and Asian migrants, unfortunately, who don't have much understanding about Aboriginal history, their culture and their stories. So it's very important that schools incorporate their culture and their stories into curriculum. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people's history goes back to like 50,000 years in making, and there are enormous benefits of true reconciliation by teaching future generation, like teaching these students of this generation about the past history and their story. So there are many benefits. That is the reason like it's so important.
I have a question. What is the critical democratic classroom and why it is important?
So basically, a critical democratic classroom is one where the teacher is the leader and they're in negotiation with the students in a democratic way. They decide together how the teaching and learning is going to take place. So they research together, but there's a bit of flexibility in how they approach that teaching. So, it's up to the students democratically, with the teacher as leader, to decide. And critical means they investigate and they research as co-researchers. So in a classroom where they're working together, there's a bit of negotiation and they work as co-researcher. That's what we call as a critical democratic classroom.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.